Tom Paris and Harry Kim, Tom Paris and Harry Kim. He canceled, it became 8 panels with Harry Kim. Now you're like, no, I love being on stage, but 8 times in one con, I was like, oh, I was just drained. So I was on stage at one of the supposed Paris and Kim panels that Paris was not at, and I'm talking on stage, and the director at the time was Eric Watts. Eric Watts was the Trek Track director for 17, 18 years, and he's always on stage, and he was sitting next to me. And during my talk, I looked at all the fans, and I said, wouldn't it be great, y'all, if I came back maybe next year as a co-MC? Huh? Eric's sitting there going, just a really nonchalant kind of reaction. 2 months later, Eric Watts was no longer the director of the Trek Track. Okay, the position was open. At which point I sent an email to the chairman of DragonCon saying, hello, my name is Garrett Wang. I think you should know who I am. I was your guest before, and I would like to apply for the job of director of Trek Track. That email was responded to with, kind of disbelief, really, because in the history, let's think about it, the history of conventions, no actor has ever gone behind the scenes. The actors have always been invited guests. They come in, they do their thing, and they go home. So this was the first time an actor said, look, I want to be a part of it. Which, it amazed everybody, trust me. They didn't know what to think. Some people were excited, some were like, well, how's that going to work? They didn't understand how that would work. And so last year was my first year as director, in the helm of director of the Trek Track. And really, for me, my main purpose in asking to be the director was to ensure that I can come back here every year. That was the first thing. I said, I want to be back every year. I'll be honest, I don't pull any punches, and that's one thing the more that you come to see me talk, I'm very candid. I will tell you exactly how it is, much to the dismay of my fellow. I remember when I first started doing conventions while Voyager was being filmed, a lot of my co-stars were coming to me saying, look, please don't write a book about us right now, please. I was at a convention in Cincinnati, and you totally talked about that one thing, blah, 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 and they get all pissed off at me, so. But it's the truth, I'm not making anything up. I'm telling people exactly how it happened. So last year was my first year as Trek Track director, and it was difficult, because not only was I moderating and introducing every person on stage, I was running to the Walk of Fame to sign autographs, and then from there, running back to every single building that we had a big talk in, and it wasn't necessarily just the Sheraton. Sometimes they would use, we had Scott Bakula last year, Captain Archer. We would use something in the Marriott. So I'd be running between all the buildings, like crazy. And I tried to plan for that, and that I talked with transportation. I said, listen, I need a car. It's not a long distance, but it's easy enough. It's better if I can get driven, round and round, so I don't sweat my butt off. Every time I came down to the pickup point for guests for transportation, I say, yeah, okay, I'm ready to go to the Hilton now. They'd say, oh, I'm sorry, Garrett. Brent Spiner just took your car. So Brent Spiner took my car 4 times. So I was like, you know what? I really wanted to strangle Data for a while. I was like, so this year I didn't ask for any car. I said, look, I'll just walk. I'll do the walking. I almost want to contact Segway to see if they'll sponsor me. I just say, because I first thought I could use one of your, what you have, which is the little portable, but then people were like, you know what, he can walk. Why is he in that? But a Segway, amazing. I'd be just Segwaying around and wouldn't go, there's Garrett, right? So then I thought what would be a funny thing would be if we did, DragonCon TV in all the different hotels, they have the funny little commercials. And it'd be cool if you saw, it said something like, DragonCon 2040, like in the future. And it's me with a jetpack just going between the buildings. And the jetpack makes the sound from the jets. It's like, and people, they'd have fans going, there's Garrett! There goes Garrett! Anyway, that'd be cool, right? Yeah, okay, thanks, all right. And then my other thing for the future of DragonCon is that an entire dome goes across, just over the entire downtown area with the AC system. Yeah! And then everyone would dress up in costume. They're like, hell yeah, it's 69 degrees, let's go. But that's the thing is, come on, think about it. When you guys dress in costume and you're facing this kind of a humid weather, it doesn't end up smelling very good after about an hour, It just And this will happen throughout this con. You'll walk past somebody in a costume. You're like, oh no, oxygen, oxygen, oxygen. So that's it. So I want a jetpack and a dome over Dragon Con. Those are my 2 requests. Not big, but you know, we'll see. Did that even answer your question? What was your question? Oh, how is it now as a director? Yeah, it's a lot of running around. It's a lot of running around. But honestly, I enjoy this a lot, you know. So I think this is a natural fit for me. I'm also the other convention that I work for behind the scenes is FedCon in Germany, the largest European convention, sci-fi con, which every April, May in Germany, and I'm their master of ceremonies for that one, the MC. They had a master of ceremonies. Actually, it was Mark Lee. You guys were there for the talk in the morning. Mark Lee moderated that. He was their MC. For, again, 14, 15, 16, almost identical to the Eric Watts situation, right? But a huge argument between him and that promoter caused his departure from FedCon. And they had another guy, an actor named Ed Wassa. I don't know, he's done some things, if anyone knows Stargate or something, I don't know. But Ed Wassa came in as the MC for FedCon last year. And he did things like, he showed up late, he didn't make it, he was never on time to introduce people. He mispronounced actors' names. He announced them on the wrong show, you know? So he's like, so-and-so from, the Star Trek Next Gen. He goes, so-and-so from Stargate. And they're like, what? You know, so the fans weren't too happy with that at all. So then I kind of got myself into there, and I remember I got up on stage, and the first thing I had to do was I had to welcome all the fans from all the different countries around the world that were in attendance. So the people that were running the operations behind the stage gave me this piece of paper going, okay, Garrett, so the first thing you will do is make sure that you introduce and cheer and applaud for all the fans from each country. So we have a sheet of paper which has the list of the countries in order as they come on the screen. It will be on the screen, the big screen behind you. You only have to read the list, and this will be fine, and have time for them to applause. And I go, okay, cool. So I get the list, and I start reading, and I go, okay, who do we have from Scotland? And I look up, it's not the Scottish flag. I go, oh! So the whole order of flags was messed up, right? So, but I was able to, you know, kind of run with it, go off the cuff. I didn't let it affect me, and I think that's what really endeared the fans to me, because I saved my butt by just being funny, you know? And they loved that, and by the end of it, they had this website where they said, fans of FedCon, do you accept or do you like Garrett Wang as your MC? Yes or no? So by the beginning of con, it was like 6 yeses, 0 nos. By the end of con, it was 432 yes, 0 no. So they were like, we want him back again. So now I'm doing that every year. So if you ever have a trip to Europe, plan it around FedCon and go to FedCon. It's a really cool convention because the Germans are, the best thing I can say about Germany is it's organized chaos. It's the best way. They're so precise. I remember the first year I did FedCon was 1996. Usually if you do a convention, they hand the guest a little itinerary. The itinerary says 3 things. On stage at this time. Signing autographs at this time. Leave for the airport at this time. That's it. Okay? The German itinerary, I look at this and it says, 8 o'clock, you will wake up. 8:15, you will brush your teeth. 8:30, you will take a shower. 9 o'clock, you will eat breakfast. 9:15, we will pick you up. 9:17, we will be at the corner of Strasburger and Vorhanden. You know, I mean, everything was written down to the minute, okay? And it was a 7-page itinerary. I go, wow. Chill. Germany, chill. But that being said, Germany is a beautiful, beautiful country, all right? My first trip over there in 1996, if you're an American citizen, you're used to watching American movies about, and what do we know about Germany, except for World War II stuff, right? The Holocaust. All we have is a negative image of Germany, right? So my first thought process was, I'm going to a country that is all concrete, right? It's just concrete and metal. There's not going to be any grass, no trees, no birds, no squirrels, no nothing, okay? It's going to be just, that's what I thought. I was a little nervous, and I actually was flying Lufthansa, right? So I'm sitting on Lufthansa, the German airline, and I brought a buddy with me, a good friend of mine. So he's sitting next to me, we're sitting there, and everyone's speaking German. There's not one lick of English being spoken, and I'm already nervous enough about going to Germany. And all of a sudden, the flight attendant gets on the mic, and she goes, would passengers Masahiro Sakara and Nobu Honda please come to the front of the plane? And right after she finished that announcement, my buddy leans over to me, and he goes, yeah, to get your soup and towel for your gas shower, like that. So he says that, right? So he goes, it's happening, dude. They're getting rid of all the minorities. Did they call any German people? No, they called 2 Japanese people to come up. They're killing us one by one. And I go, dude, that's not funny. That's not funny, right? Well, the funny thing was, we never saw those 2 Japanese guys. That plane. I don't know what they were in the cargo hold now, dead. I don't know. I was so afraid. I'm like, oh my God, Tim, the Japanese guys are gone. I go, you're lucky. You're half Korean, half German. You probably live. I'm not. I don't have any Aryan blood at all. So I thought I was done for. I really did. We get off that plane and we actually took a train from Frankfurt down to Bonn, the capital. We get on this train. And the train's going through the German countryside. It's the most gorgeous thing you've ever seen. I mean, we're talking rolling hills of green, beautiful, just the landscape is just, it's like a painting, you know? And I'm going, wow, this is Germany, you know? And unfortunately, the media that we grow up with in this country, it's all from Hollywood. And Hollywood, let's face it, 99.9% of the executives in Hollywood are Jewish. And the Jews, you know what happened with Holocaust, so they're not going to show anything positive about the German people. So until that trip, I didn't know anything about Germany, you know? And when I got there, I thought, wow, this is just beautiful. And before I got there, I told the promoter, I said, look, I want to make sure that you have somebody there to be my nightlife liaison. And they're like, well, what do you mean? I said, well, somebody who's young, who's hip, who can take me to whatever local, you know, the club is, or the bar. I just want to be able to see the nightlife. So when I get there, they have this guy who's basically been hired to do that. And he comes up to me and he's wearing like he's a really hip dude. He's like, hello, my name is Anna. Nice to meet you. I'm your nightlife liaison. I go, all right. Nice, you're wearing Armani. Cool, you know, of course. Also, I have Hugo Boss also, whatever you want, I'm here for you. I'm like, cool. So he drives me the first night to go to this nightclub. So we drive from Bonn to Cologne, which is it's probably like about 115 miles, but he's doing like 150 on the Autobahn, right? And it's he had a convertible, but the top wasn't down. It was up, but still extremely loud inside that car at 150. I was white-knuckled, grabbing on everything I could, right? And he's like, ooh, and the Germans are so precise. If you're in the fast lane and someone's in front of you and you're coming up on them, all you do is hit your signal, and they move for you, okay? Awesome. No one does that in the US, but boom, they move out of the way. So we are just cruising down, and then we take the off-ramp. We get off the off-ramp. Now we're on a dirt road. Now I'm going, what? And we're bumping along. The car in front of us is throwing dirt up, and all we see is the headlight hitting the dirt. We can't see anything. And we're going along, bumping. I go, Anna, where is this? But he goes, oh, don't worry, don't worry. So all of a sudden, we pull into this parking lot. And I look up. It's this huge factory-looking building with guard towers on each corner, right? I go, this is the club. He goes, yeah, this is the club. It's the Halle. I go, no, this is the concentration camp. I go, this is Club Auschwitz, right? That's what I said. And he looked at me. He goes, no, nine. We do not say this in Germany, please. You do not talk about World War II or the concentration camps. This is very, very bad taste to talk about this in front of Germans. Please do not do this. I'm like, chill. Chill, Germany, chill, okay? So we get out, we go to the nightclub. Sure enough, it's actually a converted munitions factory is what it is, okay? With guard towers, okay? So we're in there, I'm dancing and everything. So I come on stage the next day to tell this story, all right? And me being candid, I talk about everything, but much to my, that was such the wrong choice for me. So I'm on stage, and I'm trying to tell this story, and he's not even there. I thought Arno was there, I thought my buddy was there. Both of them were not even in the audience. So I'm talking about this story, and I get to the point where, dirt road, looking over, telling Arnie, what is this? Club Auschwitz? The minute I say Auschwitz, there's 7,000 German fans in this auditorium. They all take a collective inhale at the same time. They go, the air in that room just disappeared. They couldn't believe I said that, right? And I just thought that only Arnie had that crazy reaction. No, it's all of Germany who feels that way. And they all inhaled at the same time. And I went, Finish my talk, I get off stage. One of the promoters, one of the people that was associated with the promoters, this lady named Bettina, older lady who had very good English actually, and she came up to me and she said, "Garrett, I have to talk to you." I said, "Yes?" "Well, it seems while you were on stage telling your story about going to the nightclub, you have to understand 60% of the German audience does not understand English that well. They have to ask the person next to them to explain the story. And the ones next to them, they don't understand it that well either. They thought that you were telling the audience that your experience coming to Germany, you felt as if you were coming to a concentration camp."
Oh, no.
They're very upset about this. And I said, "No, Bettina, that's not what I was trying to say. So then she went, I understand English very well. I know what you were trying to say. But none of the fans understand this." So that was my first intro to the Germans. So if you go to Germany, don't talk about World War II or anything concentration camp. Yeah? But I've been back there many times, and the fandom over there is fabulous. It's interesting because here when people applause for you or get into something, everyone claps like at different tempos, right? They don't clap together. In Germany, they clap together. It's like, it's kind of like, I can understand where the goose step came from. I can understand how Hitler got into power now. It's crazy, but it's also amazing at the same time. The energy coming from this unified applause, which is like, only in Germany. You know? So anyway, I recommend at some point to let go of all your preconceived notions of Germany and go check out Germany at some point, for sure.